Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again for the second video blog of the day for Monday, June 1st, 2015, around 4:40 in the afternoon in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's cloudy out. We've been getting on and off rain showers today. Some of them heavy downpours, other ones just light, but it's very chilly, only about 52 degrees. Some news to report: the Boston Red Sox game against the Minnesota Twins at Fenway Park tonight has been postponed to Wednesday. And it's official, Bruce Jenner is now Caitlyn Jenner, and the Carolina Panthers on the verge of signing their quarterback Cam Newton to a long-term contract extension. And that's about it on the news. My second video blog subject today is about the preview of the 2015 Stanley Cup Finals between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The way that both teams got to the Stanley Cup Finals: the Chicago Blackhawks were the number 3 seed in the Central Division. The first round, they knocked off the Nashville Predators, who were the second seed in the Central Division, 4-2. The second round, they faced off against the Minnesota Wild, who were the first wild card in the Western Conference. They swept the Wild in 4 straight games. And in the Western Conference Finals, they beat the Anaheim Ducks, who were the number 1 seed, and they were first place in the Pacific Division, 4-3. And the Tampa Bay Lightning got to the Stanley Cup playoffs by becoming the number 2 seed in the Atlantic Division. They faced off against number 3 seed Detroit Red Wings in the first round of the playoffs. They beat the Detroit Red Wings 4-3. Second round, they faced the number 1 seed in the Atlantic Division, the Montreal Canadiens. They beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-2. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the number 1 seed in the Metropolitan Division and the team with the best record in the National Hockey League this past season, the New York Rangers, 4-3. And the Stanley Cup Finals start Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on NBC, CBC, and TVA Sports for the French-Canadian viewers in Canada. And this is the first playoff meeting between Tampa Bay Lightning and the Chicago Blackhawks, and it will be the 22nd straight. It will be the 22nd straight year an American-based NHL team will win the Stanley Cup. And this proves to be a great Stanley Cup matchup. The Hockey News even predicted in the 2014-2015 previews they picked the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. And this Stanley Cup Final series is going to be a very great Stanley Cup. The great Stanley Cup playoff matchup. The Chicago Blackhawks are led by their captain, Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane. They also have Patrick Sharp and Marian Houssaff on defense, Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook leading the defense. And in goal, they have Corey Crawford. Corey Crawford's been a little bit shaky in the playoffs this year, but he's been okay, but very shaky at best. The defense on the Chicago Blackhawks, they've been doing their job pretty good, but like Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook have been playing a lot of minutes recently especially in the Anaheim series, so they could be real tired. And the offensive power of the forwards, especially Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, has been outstanding. He's the captain of the team, Jonathan Toews, and he's probably the best captain in the NHL today. So there's going to be a lot of firepower by the Blackhawks. The Lightning have a lot of firepower themselves in the offense and stuff with Steven Stamkos and Tyler Johnson and Ryan Callahan. They have an underrated defensive core, which is pretty good, led by Victor Hedman and a couple of other defensemen. And the goaltender, Ben Bishop's been real solid this year and stuff like that. And I think this is going to be a classic 7-game series for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I think it's going to go all 7 games, but when it's all said and done, I still like the Chicago Blackhawks to win their 3rd Stanley Cup in 6 years, because they got the big names with Kane and Toys and Hossa and Sharp and Seabrook and Duncan and Crawford. And this is probably going to be the last year the Chicago Blackhawks will be contenders with this group of lineups, because they're really high up on the salary cap, and a lot of these players might have to go, like Patrick Sharp, or they might have to move Brent Seabrook, and might have to maybe get rid of Hossa. But they'll be back in a few years and stuff. There's also been rumors that the Blackhawks might look to get a steady goaltender to replace Crawford, because he's been very shaky. But if he wins a 3rd Stanley Cup, he's gonna stay put, because you don't get rid of goaltenders who win like 3 Stanley Cups and stuff like that. And I really believe that the Blackhawks will win their 3rd Stanley Cup in 7 games and stuff. It's going to be a great day when they hoist up the Stanley Cup again, and I'm picking them 7 games over the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think the MVP of this, who's going to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, will be Patrick Kane of the Blackhawks. That's what my prediction is. And that's about it on that. I'll be back for the 3rd and final video blog of the night, which will be about the personality profiles returning. It will be about the Ram Dog, Jerry Remy, who is the Red Sox color man on Ness and By.